Hopping quickly into aging a male character rather than a female character. And there's quite a lot of crossover. There are things that are similar, things. So I'll just quickly run through this. So again, I've got the same person just at different times of life, so you can kind of see how things move on, and you'll see where the similarities are. So again, as one ages, what I've noticed with the men in my life, my brother, my husband specifically, if I look back at the younger days, you see a lot of difference in the sort of weight of the neck. So somehow this kind of very young, youthful, narrow neck tend to broaden across there. They tend to broaden across the chest and just become more robust in the upper arms, this chest kind of width, and then that whole area of the neck just firms up and becomes, I guess, that moving away from boyishness and into manhood. And then similar to women, we do still tend to gain weight. And so you might find that you are a bit heavier in the torso like this. And some men will put on a fair amount of weight around the stomach. So you might end up with a belly like this. Think Homer Simpson, that kind of roundness of the belly. Larger, more strength around the arms, as I've mentioned before, and you might end up with a bit of a double chin around the bottom. You going from lush and youthful locks, often thicker and more plentiful, maybe a bit longer, definitely shorter, and tends to recede here. So there tends to what they'd call a male pattern baldness, might end up with a patch thinning on top, but definitely often receding here on the side. So you might still have hair there in the middle, but often receding to left and right, kind of above the temples like that. So you might still have sideburns if you grow them, or a certain amount of hair in front of the ears, but then above the ears, kind of into the temples there, receding hairline. So that's quite common. And then something else, as men age, one of the characteristic things is their eyebrows tend to get bushier. So women's eyebrows tend to disappear, men's eyebrows tend to blossom. So bushy eyebrows, thicker eyebrows, obviously they're probably going to be graying as time passes, but definitely you get to a point in sort of 50-ish where it suddenly seems like a man's eyebrows can take on a whole life of their own. So that is the sort of real life example of just a little bit more gravitas in the neck, weight in the upper body and torso, possibly gaining weight to be have a bit of a belly, a beer belly as we call it around here. That will often be the case, and just a more heaviness. So if we look at some of the cartoons that I quite like, and these are not the sort of cartoons that I draw, but just ones that I was looking around thinking, where can I find something which feels respectful, doesn't just kind of have that very stereotypical grumpy old man sort of look about it, although this one does have a bit of a grumpy old man look about it, and also brings in the possibilities of, like, this guy's got a full head of hair, where this guy's balding on top, and this guy's also got a couple of threads of hair on top, but balding at the side. So let's just get into that and have a look. So similar to women, you will end up with this, from the corners of the nose to the corner of the mouth, outer corner of the mouth, you will end up with a certain amount of line there. And depending on age, you will probably also end up with these kind of marks. So you might end up with a chin like this, and then sort of jowliness like this going out. So that can jowl down like that. The eyes, you can see here, we've got, oopsie, things are jumping around. You've got a sort of certain bagginess. So obviously this has got a majorly overstated big nose, but you can see that there are these sort of slight baggy wrinkles under the eyes. So that also gives you weight. You can have these corners here, often quite heavy, wrinkling into the frown lines like that. Again, your wrinkles at the top, just a hint of wrinkles there. As I say, this guy's got bushy hair, but you can see this pattern here, this sort of squared off pattern, is very much a male pattern of hair. And it does, even with someone who's got a fairly bushy lot of hair at an older age, will often have this area will have receded from what it was when they were younger. So having less hair up into those corners of the face will give an older appearance. Glasses, as I say, you can wear glasses at any age these days, but glasses is often quite common for older people. All right, so let's look at this man here. So he doesn't have the full head of hair. You can see he's both of these have got you can see the very bushy eyebrows. So again, bushy eyebrows here, very characteristic of age. Sometimes a moustache, not always. Younger men are wearing moustaches and beards again now, so it's just a matter of fashion. These little tufts of hair over the ears can be very characteristic. So if that works for your character, really great. Easy way to do it. And obviously the kind of bald head on top. Here you've got a slight narrowing of the shoulders. So as you get beyond sort of middle age, where you've got that strength and the sturdiness of the upper body, as men age, they also can often end up with what I think of as kind of coat hanger shoulders. So that slight softening of the shoulders like this and rounding like that. So it's just gives you a less muscular, stereotypical sort of look to the body. And then this one I chose because, again, he's got that sort of the thickness of the body like that, but not broad shoulders. What I liked about this is that it really shows this kind of jowliness of the jawline. So that's sort of softening out from the chin. So chin can be there, these jowls going out on either side. Again, shows the characteristic of fairly heavy brows. And then even if you've got just a couple of threads of hair still on top, you can see that male pattern baldness coming in here, or just the sort of receding into the corners. So those are the things to look out for if you've got a character that you're trying to age. Just looking at exactly where they're already showing their age. Here you can see the wrinkles on the sides of the eyes. If you use those where they are showing their age, and then decide how subtly or less subtly you want to use it. I think sometimes also the reason why a moustache can be something which adds age is, depending on the shape of the moustache, it might be quite a dated thing. But also it tends to reinforce that shape. So from the nose like this down to the mouth, if you've got a moustache like that, it reinforces the line from the corner of the nose to the outer corners of the mouth. And that also just adds extra sense of age to your character. So that is what to look out for, and the sort of similarities and differences between aging a male character versus a female character.